What do you think drove biotech higher in the first half of the year?
A combination of kind of like new data, interesting data. Our first gene therapy was approved,
Yep.
Plus a couple of takeouts between Celgene being taken out and Shire last year, and then Allergan. You kind of have enough of a mojo for the sector to work a little bit in a tough healthcare sector.
Do you expect M&A to continue into the second half, and do we have sort of a calendar of important data points that could propel us higher?
So there'll be an ongoing takeouts. There are two kind of takeouts. First, there's the takeouts of like the new innovative industry, things like Avexis or Array, which are new technologies. Companies barely have any profits, or if at all, but there is a great potential for growth. And the second one is the kind of consolidations we've seen with kind of like Shire or Celgene or Allergan, and those are kind of big chunks. So I don't know if they're going to happen in the second half. But over the next 2 or 3 years, we're probably going to hollow out the mid caps. We're going to kind of end up with a U-shaped industry, which is appropriate given the industry is somewhat more mature. So yeah, M&A will continue on a gradual basis. I don't know if it will be triggered that much by timing beyond the usual stuff we have in the second half. So ASH, the hematology big meeting in December is typically a big trigger for folks as data come out from other congresses in the fall. There's like a whole wave of congresses coming in September, October. You're probably going to see a little bit of that. But
you know, healthcare is a huge area. You know, there are lots of different subsectors within the sector. Is one a sweet spot for you?
So the mid caps biotech is the really interesting one. You're seeing a huge wave of investment coming in from the VC side, which keeps on propelling mid companies forward.
Companies like what falls into that category of mid cap biotech? So
mostly like the gene therapy companies, some of the cancer names come around. There's a new wave now of companies more in the neurology company, which are beginning to come up. And people like Regenix or Sage or people mention very often. Those will be typical. The big bet or the big binary bet looks to be like the insurers, just because if you kind of heard the Democratic debate, there is a possibility for them to go into zero territory, and there's a potential folks will actually use them to implement some of the changes being discussed. So they're more of the big binary area.
In terms of the SMIDs, though, I mean, what seems important is that they are the rumored takeout targets, but also you're saying that a lot of VC money is pouring into sort of this area, so that propels the valuations higher, even if they are not takeout targets?
To some extent, what's really been helping this mid-biotech is that the timelines to bring a drug to market, the number of patients you need to do that, has compressed very significantly in the last 5 years. So if you thought in the past it will take you 10 years and cost you $1 billion, no, you can bring a cancer drug out with a couple of hundred patients out, and maybe 2 or 3 years from the time you start a trial as opposed to 5 to 10. So all that, if you think about the time value, makes a VC company go, look, my returns on investment can be much more nearer terms. And that is the big driver here.
And real quickly, you mentioned look at some of the cheaper names in terms of multiples here, because we saw several of them have gotten taken out recently.
That's right. And my favorite number is name is Gilead, trading at 6.5 times EV to EBITDA, pays 4% dividend. A new CA came in from Roche. The board essentially cleaned house. Head of R&D, head of BD, head of CFO are all leaving the company. There will be a new management team. They have a lot of money on their hands. The CEO done quite well when he was at Roche, and 6.5 times. So if the market pulls back, that name will probably hit a lot less than others.